Hey guys, and welcome to the Leftover Culture Review, and welcome to another incredibly special video, because today's not really going to be a review. I just found something really cool that I wanted to share with all of you. Because I care. Because I think you'll think it's cool too. And it's also not really going to be about a video game. This is more like a point-and-click storybook adventure. There's no way to lose. It's just an experience. You go on a journey, and you get to meet a whole bunch of really interesting characters in a really cool fantasy world. Now, you've already seen the title. You know it's got something to do with Oddbodz. And if you don't know what Oddbodz are, because I'm not actually sure these guys ever made it out of Australia, but Oddbodz were collector cards. You could find them in Smith's potato chips, and they were produced by Glowzone. And as a kid growing up in Australia in the 90s, these collector cards were everywhere, and they all featured a really cool character. They're full of funky illustrations on the front, a whole host of wacky characters, and I really dug the artwork, the comedy, the humor in them. The color palettes, like, it still inspires me today, which is why I have a collector folder, because I love drawing, I love art and illustration, so I can definitely see what inspired me as a kid. And they did release a couple of different waves of these as well. There was the original series, and there was like Oddbodz in Space, and then after that they went into like AFL and sporting characters, which is when I lost interest. But the original and Wave 2, the Oddbodz in Space, absolute favorites, and I've got a bunch of the cards. Like I said, on the front you get this quirky, illustration of the character, plenty of glow-in-the-dark ink, and then on the back you get a brief description about them, as well as like a story thread that continues along. So you could connect these cards together, create your own stories, and even create some of your own characters, because on the back of the card you had like the top half and the bottom half of two different characters, and you could connect them together, create your own. So the cards themselves were really cool, and growing up as a kid in Australia in the 90s, you could just find them everywhere. Obviously you could trade them with your friends, you could get them from bags of potato chips, you could find them laying on the floor, you could find them in trash bins. I mean, no holds barred when you're a kid and you're trying to get your hands on some collector cards. So absolutely loved collecting them as a kid, obviously very much inspired by them. But I remember having like these vague, dreamy memories of a video game existing out there somewhere. I'm very sure that I owned it at one point. I don't know if it was like through a Scholastic book club sort of deal where you got the game. Whatever the case, there was a video game, and it's been a hell of a journey to track it down. But a couple of years ago, someone uploaded it onto My Abandonware, and it works on modern computers, which absolutely blew me away. I was able to play it and check it out, and I wanted to share it with you guys as well, because it really does. It's a storybook style adventure, but it takes the characters from Oddbodz that we all know and love, and we get to have an adventure through their universe. You get to meet the good guys, you get to meet the villains, and you get to meet a whole bunch of characters along the way.
Where is OddBodia? I've never heard of that before.
No, you wouldn't have. For, you see, we exist in an entirely different world. Come, I shall take you on a tour.
And it's all very badly voiced. I'm not saying that the voice actors are bad, but I don't think they're professional. It does feel like a pretty amateur kind of production, but it has like this real sense of fun. So you get to play as a character named Dylan. Hi, Dylan. You get sucked through a computer where you end up in OddBodia, and it's up to you to help save Professor Experimental from Draculard, which is like an obese Dracula. So you team up with Myron Megabrain, Mimi Screami, and Nerdy Neville. Yes, there's obviously a lot of characters, and I have to think about it.
Friends, I'd like to introduce you to the Mystery Kid. He's an oddbod who lives on the other side of the freaky forest.
You team up with those guys, and you have to adventure through OddBodia to get to Draculard's castle to release Professor Experimental. And I don't want to ruin it too much, because it only takes like half an hour to get through it.
Count Draculard, we are aware you have dog fever. If you really are as friendly as you appear, why can you not simply let him go?
All in good time.
I really do recommend playing through at least once, especially if you love that quirky illustration and sense of humor. But you get to meet a whole host of weird and wacky characters. You get to see OddBodia, you get to see some really strange things. You also get to do a few different puzzle games. So there is like a game element in there, but they're not really hard, and you can't really lose at them. They're more like, you know, there's like a memory game, and you need to like match the clothing up to the right character. Like I said, they're not really games, but there are some game elements here in this adventure. I think for me, and I said it about the cards as well, the real draw card here is just how much Oddbodz inspired me as a kid growing up in the 90s, and how much I love the art, the illustration, and the design. And I just really wanted to share that that game was available to play on PC right now. I'll leave a link down below in the description. Also, if you use Instagram, you can head over to the Leftover Culture Review, of course, and check me out. That's leftover_culture_review. But I also recommend checking out Melbourne-based artist Andy Hook. He was one of the illustrators, if not the illustrator. I'm not sure if they had multiple, but he did the illustrations for a whole bunch of Oddbodz characters, and I really love his art style. I guess I loved it then, I still love it now, so I thought I'd just give him a shout out. And while I'm in the business of shouting things out, I'm going to shout out the Leftover Culture Review website as well. I've uploaded a whole bunch of new designs and artwork to the store. I'm also currently in the process of working on a virtual exhibition. I wanted to show off a whole range of artwork developed only using a Mega Drive and Sega's very own Art Alive. So I'll be putting a whole bunch of original artwork done absolutely only on a Sega Mega Drive up over on the website as well. So I'm really excited to show that off. So keep your eyes peeled. Enjoy Oddbodz and OddBodia if you're so way inclined. I'd love to hear what your memories are, and even if the Oddbodz actually ever made it out of Australia. I'm not actually sure. So like I said, not really a full review. I was just really excited to show off Oddbodz. And I really do appreciate you guys tuning in to hear me just talk about them, because I had a lot of fun playing the game and reliving a little bit of my youth with you today. Stay tuned for more Leftover Culture. There is a whole bunch of stuff in the pipeline, and I can't wait to share and show off everything that I've been working on. So stay tuned. Until next time, I'll wait, let me mix that up. So until next time, stay tuned for some more Leftover Culture. Cheers, guys.